Hey guys, Crypto Dad here. Thanks for joining me. In this video series, we're going to install and configure software that involves cryptography. There's a lot of applications out there in modern society that involve cryptography and encryption. It's a big and important thing in our life on the internet, and it can be a little complicated. It can be a little hard to understand, inaccessible, so to speak, but I'm here to kind of take the mystery away and help you get it installed and configured. Okay, so this particular video we're going to talk about verifying software with cryptographic signing keys. So let's dive in. So when we verify software, we download the installer, and then we download another file which we call the signing file, and it's a special formatted file. It's going to sit right next to our installer on the hard drive, and what I usually like to do is create a separate folder for the software and the signing file so that they're right next to each other and it's easy to wrap your head around it. And then there's one other thing that we're going to need, which is the signing key for the developer. So this may sound a little strange, but let me just give you an example and we'll dive in. Okay, so here we've got a nice little web browser, and let's say we've decided we want to download Tor. We want to make our life, we want to be more anonymous on the internet. Things that a lot of people are after these days. Well, so when we go to download Tor, you'll notice that there's some additional things over here. This main thing that I want to talk about today is the signature file. Okay, and what exactly is this? Okay, the signature file is a bunch of gobbledygook, and it has a tag at the beginning and the end. Begin PSP signature, I'm sorry, PGP, and the end here, end PGP signature, and all of this in between. This is ciphertext. This has been converted using a cryptography algorithm, and it's a special piece of text file. Now, we also see, you know, what is all this, you know, and you go into these long explanations of what a signing key is and how to verify their software and how important it is, and it can be a little mystifying. So I'm going to try and help with all that. Another one is the Electrum Bitcoin wallet. Now you'll notice when you go to download this, we get the same situation over here. We've got the Windows installer and then this signature file. And you know, when we click on it, we get this ciphertext over here. And we also have the Bitcoin. A lot of people are interested in Bitcoin right now. It heavily relies on cryptography. And then when you get started with Bitcoin, choose a wallet. We're ready to go here, ready to install. We get into the same situation where you've got these release signatures and the signing keys. Whonix, which is an anonymous operating system, which we'll talk about in one of the later videos, has the same mechanism. You go to download it, and what you end up running into is this same situation where we got signing files. So in order to verify these installers with the cryptographic signing keys, we're going to need to download some specialized software, install it on our hard drive, and use it to run these verifications. And the core software behind all this is the GnuPG. The GnuPG is open source software. It does a lot of things. It can do encryption of text files, of emails. It can manage signing keys, which we'll talk a little bit about in a minute. And it can also verify software or installer files with a signing key. And so if we're going to use GnuPG and we go to download, you'll notice over here that it has the same thing. It wants you to verify the download. Well, if I've never installed this software, how can I verify anything, right? I need this software to verify. So we get a little chicken and an egg thing. So you can't verify until you've downloaded and installed, and you can't really install until you verified, according to all of this. So it's a little tricky. It goes in a circle. One thing I guess you could do is download the software, and after the fact, after you've installed it so that you can use it, after the fact, verify the installer file just to make sure that you did get the right installer file, or that there's nothing flaky about the file. Okay, we're going to use GPG for Windows. That's the Windows version of the GnuPG software. Okay, now why do we need to verify software at all, right? Most of the time when we're on the internet, we find a piece of software like iTunes. We decide we want to download it. There's this big download button. You click it, you install it. It runs fine. Software like that, big commercial software, one thing is that it's a little bit difficult to impersonate the Apple website, to fool people into downloading iTunes. You know, it's possible, but it's not very likely. And that type of software that's mainstream software, there's not a lot of motivation on the part of bad parties to impersonate the software. But when we get into rigorous types of software that involve cryptography, there is a motivation out there for someone to impersonate this website and trick you into downloading an imposter, you know. And then if we download an imposter version of Tor and then we install it on our hard drive, it might install something nasty. It might install a keylogger, it might install malware. It might somehow spy on you in the background. It might crash your computer. So, and then also there's just this verification of the integrity of the download. The signing file will also verify whether, or let you know whether the file has been corrupted in transport or altered in transport by a malicious third party. Okay. So let's get this thing installed. As we go through this, I'm going to throw out a couple of tips and tricks that I like to use. The first thing, let's get over here. This is the GPG download window. I encourage everyone to support these software developers. If you go up to the info circle up in the top there, I've got some links that you can download software. Donate to these fine developers. Most of the software that we're going to be talking about is open source software. So I won't donate at the moment in order to simplify this process. Okay, so we have a window here that's popping up, and it wants to know what we want to do with this file. You may not get this when you click download. In Firefox, it's in our settings, in the options. You'll you'll notice that I have ticked here, always ask where to save files. Okay, and the default is save files to downloads, which just drops the installer in your downloads folder. But I like to get a little more control over where the file goes, and I want to do a little organization on the fly as well. So if you tick this option, you can follow along with me as we go. Okay, so I'm going to tick one back here, I'm going to hit the download, going to get my window. I'm going to click Save File, and when the file save dialog window opens up, I'm not going to save it in downloads. Now I have, I'll show you my drive here. So if we look here, I've got a local startup drive, I've got a 4 terabyte data drive, and on that data drive I have a software folder down here, and I have pinned it to quick access. Over here you can see it. Alright, so that's the folder that we're going to use here. We're going to click software. I'm going to create a new folder on the fly. Okay, we'll call this one GPG for Windows. Okay, and we'll just drop the installer right there. Now if we need to open this folder quickly from the download window of Firefox, we can click the down arrow up here, and click on this folder, and lo and behold, there it is. And like I said, we're not going to verify this one because we can't. We haven't installed it yet. But I'm going to take you through that. Okay, we're going to use the defaults for this. Just click next, except for one caveat. You'll notice here that for the default here does not have the GPA ticked. I like to use GPA. It's a good software to help illustrate what I'm talking about. It's a front end for the GnuPG software, but it's kind of a key manager that'll help it show what we're doing here, and it also has a couple little features that make things a bit easier. So we're going to install the GPA. We'll click next, and off we go. And after this software gets installed, I'm going to pin the installer. I'm going to pin the launcher to the taskbar. I like to use the taskbar, so if we click on the Start button down here and we scroll down to G, we've just installed some software that started with G. We open this up and we see we got the GPA here. I like to you can right click here and choose More, Pin to Taskbar. You could also click Pin to Start, which would put it on the Start menu over here. I like to pin things along the taskbar down there. It makes life a little simpler for me. I like to keep things clean. Okay. So when we start up this software, the first thing it's going to ask us is if we want to generate a key. I'm not going to do that right now either. I don't want to get distracted. I'll do that later. And here we are, this nice little key manager, and you can see that it's empty. There are no keys here yet. So let's say that we've installed this software and we're ready to download Tor and verify it. Let's go through that process. It's kind of a bit of a learning process. I'm going to take you through it. I'm going to run into the problems that I ran into, and then I'm going to explain to you what the solutions are. Alright, so let's go over here to Tor. We're going to do the same thing. We're going to download Tor Browser. When the window pops up that asks us where we want to save it, we're going to click Save As, and in this case we're going to do the same thing, very similar. We're going to go to the software folder. We're going to create a new folder, and I'm going to call it Tor. And we'll double click that. We've got a nice empty folder now. We'll hit Save. Let this guy download. Now this signature file, like I mentioned, it needs to sit right next to the installer, and if I click on signature, we're going to get all of this again. But so there's two ways I could get this. I could cut and paste this into a new text file, give it the right name, and sit it next to the installer. But there is an easier way. I can right click on this SIG link here, choose Save Link As, and it's gonna give me the correct name. You'll notice down here it says it's a text document. It's actually a special type of document, ASC file. We're gonna click Save. It was in the Tor folder if you didn't notice that. Let's go over here. We're going to open this folder, and there we go. We've got our nice two files right next to each other, and the file names are actually the same, save this ASC extension. So as you can see, the signature file has the same name as the installer file, and you can't see the exe extension in the Windows interface here, but without getting too distracted, I would like to launch the Windows PowerShell for our command line interface. Before I jump into that, I'm gonna do something else, but there's a special trick we can use to get into the Windows PowerShell. If we use the Start button here, we can right click on it, and choose Windows PowerShell. But if we do that, it's going to open Windows PowerShell in the home directory. And I want to operate on these files here in the Tor folder. So there's an easy way to have PowerShell navigate to that subdirectory. We'll hold down the Shift key. We're going to right click, and open up Windows PowerShell. And then you can see here that we've got a nice PowerShell command line window. And let's hit dir. There we go. Now we can see our full file name here, the Tor Browser installer.exe, and then the signature file here with the ASC extension. Okay, but let's say that I would try to avoid at all costs the command line window, which many of us do. We've downloaded this software, and we could just dive right in there. Let's get all this stuff out of the way. We could just dive right in there and run the verify with the right click, because there's here an option, the more GPG EX options, which give us most of the things that we might want to do with GPG. Today we're interested in verify. So let's try verify now that we've downloaded these two files and see what happens. Okay, so here what we're going to get is this crazy error message that says unknown key. What is that all about? Uncertain signature by unknown key, no public key. Oops. Okay, so what's happened here is that it's telling me the key is unknown, and the reason the key is unknown is that we don't have the signing key yet. There's a third little a factor that comes into play here. In order to run a verification with a signing key, the developer signing key has to be in your keyring. So this is why I was kind of showing you the GPA front end, because it shows you the signing keys in a nice little interface that makes it pretty clear what's going on. You want to think of it as kind of a key ring with a bunch of keys that you might carry around in your pocket. So okay, so how do we get rid of this nasty, whoops, here we go. How do we get rid of this nasty little unknown key error message? Okay, we're going to get the signing key. So we're going to have to take a little extra step here. The Tor browser, they don't always make this clear, and that's kind of why I allowed myself to run into this problem, to sort of show you the process that you go through to figure out what this whole signing key business is all about. Well, okay, so I'm going to poke around a little bit on the Tor browser page. What's going on here? There's this big explanation of what a signature file is and what a signing key is. Down here is the link that I'm looking for, the signing keys link for the developers. So we click on that and we get to this page where we get all of these crazy signing keys. Okay, we want the Tor browser developer signing key. It's kind of right here at the top. I can cut and paste it. I'm going to copy. We're going to go over here to GPA. Some of these commands you can do in the command line interface, but GPA has a nice little server option up here, and receive keys. So basically what we're going to do is we're going to go out on the internet, we're going to receive that key, bring it down to our computer, and store it in our key manager. So we click retrieve keys. It wants the key ID, which I just cut and pasted. Or I just cut, here's the paste, and okay. Lo and behold, it just read a public key and imported it into my keyring manager. And so here it is. And if I click on it, I get all this lovely information down here telling me what type of key it is, its ID, and its fingerprint, which we'll talk about in a minute. Okay, so now we've got the key. Let's do this verification thing again. Let's try it out. Okay, so once again, I'm the type of guy, I'm going to pretend to be the kind of guy that abhors the command line, and he wants to use this graphical user front end to verify. And let's try it one more time, and no, that didn't work either. Okay, so it says the key is not valid. Tor Browser Developer Signing Key. Uncertain signature by Tor Browser Developers Signing Key. Okay, so that might make me think, wow, maybe there was a problem with this download. Maybe it was altered in transport. Maybe there's something nasty on my computer. Well, not quite. This little interface here is nice for demonstration, but it throws up this error message of key not valid when there's something a little bit deeper going on. And in order to get to that information, we're going to use the command line. You know, I gave you a little preview. I've got my Windows PowerShell open to the right folder. So let's dive in here. At the command line, if we're going to use the GnuPG software, we use the GPG command. And I'm going to do a little switch here. We're going to do version. Okay. And so there we go. We've got GPG software, the GnuPG version 2.0.3. And it's being brought to us by GPG for Windows. GPG for Windows installed this backend for us very nicely. And then let's see what else we can do with this great command line. Let's clear. We can also do a GPG list keys. Okay, and it shows that one key that we've downloaded here. It's just another way of looking at it. We could have also retrieved the keys using the command line using the receive keys. I've already got the key down, so I'm not going to go through all that. But I do want to go through the verify command. Okay, this is the meat of this video. This is what we've come here to find out. How do we verify software with a cryptographic signing key? So we use the GPG command. We do -- and verify. Okay, now we need 2 parameters. You know, I love the command line, but I am not a good typer. I really don't care to type much. So for those of you that don't know this, if you click on a file once and then click again and just move your cursor out, you're going to get the selection on the file name. There's a kind of a cheaty way to do this too. Hitting rename does the same thing. I want to cut and paste this file name here. I'm going to cut and paste the whole thing. Right click, copy. I'm sorry, copy. I'm not going to cut it. Doggone it. Cut and paste happy over here. Okay, now that I'm back here, all I really need to do is just right click here. Bam. It just drops that file name right there for me. That's the signing file name, and I'm going to go back over here and I'm going to grab, doing the same thing. This time you'll see it just highlighted the file name without the extension. That's the file name that I'm interested in. So I'm just going to copy that, go back here. Okay, right click again. Okay, so let's take a look at this command line. It's a beautiful command line. And the reason I cut and paste is not only am I not the greatest typer in the world, but even good typers might have a little problem with file names like this, where you've got multiple extensions, you've got numbers, periods, underscores. It's not like a sentence or anything. And if you make one mistake in this file name, your command line is going to fail. It's going to tell you the command's not good, or the file is not found, or some other cryptic message that's going to make you pull your hair out. So I like to cut and paste so we get a nice clean first try when we run this command. So as I spoke before, we've got the GPG. That's our command. We're invoking the GnuPG software. And then this switch here, this verify, is going to direct GPG to do a verify. And then our 2 parameters, and that's just a fancy word for the thing that the software acts upon. Okay, so this verify command needs 2 files to actually do it. So this is where we explain to the childlike computer what it is we want it to do and where we would like it to direct its efforts. Okay, here's our Tor Browser installer signing file, and then here's the installer file itself. Okay, so here we're at the end. Let's hit the enter key, and it's going to churn away. There it goes. It's going to churn away, and it's going to give us what we're looking for, which is the signature. It tells us when the signature was made, and it tells us that it is a good signature from the Tor Browser developer team. But then this little caveat over here at the end, unknown. Okay, and then the warning. Okay, so the warning is telling me that this key is not certified with a trusted signature. There is no indication that the signature belongs to the owner. Okay, now here is where we get into the tricky part of cryptographic signatures. Okay, if I want to use this signature and I need to fully trust this signature, how am I going to do that? I mean, as it turns out, it's not enough to just download it from their website. Basically, if you want to be completely sure that this is indeed the signing key for the Tor Browser developers, you need to do it in person. Now that sounds kind of crazy. I mean, we're all on the internet here. We've got all these advanced computers and all these cryptographic mathematical functions, but in order to be completely sure, you need to meet the person face to face. How would this occur? Okay, let me give you a little scenario. Say perhaps I'm at a Tor Browser's developers cocktail party, a nice place, had a few drinks, I'm mingling around, and I happen to meet a group of Tor Browser developers, and they all say, hey, if you want to download this software and be absolutely sure that you're getting our signing key, we're going to give it to you. We want to give it to you in person here. So one of the developers comes up and pulls out a little cocktail napkin, borrows a pen from somebody, and he writes his fingerprint out on the napkin. Okay, and this fingerprint here, which is generated by GnuPG when I run this command, is right here. It's not quite as long as the signing key itself is quite long and messy, just like the signing file that we looked at. The fingerprint is a little more manageable, but it is pretty long. But if you haven't had too many drinks, I'm sure you could write it onto a cocktail napkin. So I'm going to take home my cocktail napkin, I'm going to compare it to this fingerprint and verify that it is in fact the same fingerprint. Now, it may not be practical to meet every developer out there. There is another method that is used, and it involves people as well, called the circle of trust. You may have heard about this when Edward Snowden was trying to reach Laura, I can't pronounce her name, pardon me. Anyway, he was trying to reach a woman named Laura and they wanted to communicate cryptographically, and they needed to get each other's signing key for the cryptography. They used a third party that they knew that was able to make contact and get the key. So we can do the same thing, the circle of trust. If I know somebody that knows the Tor Browser developers and happens to have met them in person and had their verified their fingerprint, that person can give me the fingerprint, and then I can use that. And then it might be through a chain of people as well. That's why they call it the circle of trust. Okay, so there is another quick thing we can do here. We can look on the Tor Browser developer page and look at the fingerprint. Okay, so let's scroll down here to the fingerprint for the Tor Browser developers, and here it is up here, EF6E. It matches the one that we downloaded, or I'm sorry, the one that was generated when we ran this command here. We see EF6E all the way over to 8290, which is the same key that's listed here. So that's pretty good. It's not perfect, but it's pretty good. So what am I going to do to get rid of this warning message? I really despise warning messages. So there is a way to do it, actually. Let me right click over here, and we go to Set Owner Trust. And you'll see here there's these different levels of trust: unknown key, never trust, marginal trust, full trust, ultimate trust. Well, you know, these are different things that you might want to assign to certain keys that are in your key ring as you start gathering more keys. I've found in my experience that in order to get rid of that warning message, you're going to need to choose ultimate. We're going to set the trust to this key to ultimate. We're going to click OK, and then we can go back to our command line, and let's clear it out. Oops, pardon me. I don't know what's going on here. I think I misspelled clear. Okay. Alright, I'm going to use the up arrow to get back to our nice command line. It's kind of smushed there. There we go. Okay, so let's tap it one more time, hit the enter key, and see what happens. Okay, finally, we got the good signature from the Tor Browser developers, and as you can see, no warning. Okay, and the trust of the key is ultimate. Okay, so that is how we run the verification of a cryptographic signing file. Now we know that we've got a nice clean version of the Tor Browser installer, that nothing nasty has happened to it, and that the developers have signed it and confirmed with me that is the file that they intended me to download and install. So that's the first step. I know this was a little bit involved, and there are other ways to do this. I won't go into them now, but for now, that's all, and I'd like to thank you for joining me. Please come again, and if you like my videos, subscribe, and we'll talk to you later.